Hello everyone, welcome to another series of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day practice question. Question was, which of the following is not true regarding the Constituent Assembly? The total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. It was fully nominated body. Voting was done by the method of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, or the representatives of the princely states were to be nominated by the heads of the princely states. The correct answer is option B. It was fully nominated body. The Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by the Cabinet Mission Plan. The total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. Of these, 296 seats were to be allotted to British India and 93 seats to the princely states. Each province and princely state, a group of states in case of small states, were to be allotted seats in proportion to their respective population. Roughly 1 seat was to be allotted for every million population. The representatives of each community were to be elected by members of that community in the Provincial Legislative Assembly. Voting was to be done by the method of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. The representatives of the princely states were to be nominated by the heads of the princely states. The Constituent Assembly was to be partly elected and partly nominated body. Hence, option B is correct. Now let's begin today's session. First question is, consider the following statements regarding the District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committees, or DISHAs. 1. It promotes participative governance and deliberative democracy. 2. It is related to the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A, 1 only. Dishas have been formed to ensure better coordination among all the elected representatives in Parliament, state legislators and local governments for efficient and time-bound development. It is a government-wide initiative that seeks to promote participative governance and deliberative democracy. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Disha seeks to achieve this by facilitating a quarterly review of all development activity at the district level. The chairperson of a Disha committee is the senior-most member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, elected from the district and nominated by the Ministry of Rural Development. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Therefore, option A is correct. Disha committee meetings will be held on a quarterly basis. The committees will have powers to seek information and demand effective follow-up on issues raised during the deliberations. The district collector is the member secretary responsible for convening the meeting, ensuring effective and timely follow-up. Next question is, recently the Operation Barkhane was in the news. It is related to supercomputers, reduction in greenhouse gases, marine pollution, or counter-terrorism. The correct answer is option D, counter-terrorism. Recently, French President Emmanuel Macron announced the end of the decade-long Operation Barkhane in Africa. France began its military operations in Sahel in January 2013. Titled Operation Serval, it was limited to targeting Islamic extremists linked to Al-Qaeda who took control of northern Mali. However, in 2014, the mission was scaled up, renamed Operation Barkhane, and was aimed at counter-terrorism. The objective was to assist local armed forces to prevent the resurgence of non-state armed groups across the Sahel region. Around 4,500 French personnel were deployed with the local joint counter-terrorism force. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, which of the following has released the report titled Financing India's Infrastructure Needs, Constraints to Commercial Financing and Prospects for Policy Action? International Monetary Fund, World Bank, UN Development Programme, or NITI Aayog? The correct answer is option B, World Bank. A new World Bank report estimates that India will need to invest $840 billion over the next 15 years. It is an average investment of $55 billion per annum into urban infrastructure to effectively meet the needs of its fast-growing urban population. Titled Financing India's Infrastructure Needs, Constraints to Commercial Financing and Prospects for Policy Action, The report underlines an urgent need to leverage more private and commercial investments to meet emerging financial gaps. Hence, option B is correct. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Constituent Assembly adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. 2. Constituent Assembly adopted the national song on January 24, 1947. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option A, 1 only. The Constituent Assembly performed the following functions. It ratified the India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. It adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It adopted the national anthem on January 24, 1950. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. It adopted the national song on January 24, 1950. It elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first President of India on January 24, 1950. In all, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. Therefore, option A is correct. Next question is, in the context of international politics, which of the following grouping is related to the Indo-Pacific Maritime Domain Awareness? AUKUS, Five Eyes Alliance, Quad, or ASEAN? The correct answer is option C, Quad. The Indo-Pacific Maritime Domain Awareness or IPMDA initiative is related to the Quad and was launched during previous Quad summit which was held in Tokyo. Hence, option C is correct. It is aimed at delivering on the promised goals of enhancing maritime security and shared domain awareness in the region via technology and training support. It is expected to catalyze joint efforts of India and other Quad partners towards addressing illegal, unreported and unregulated, that is IUU, fishing in the Indo-Pacific region. Next question is, in the context of Indian arts and culture, Bagurumba is referred to martial art form, folk dance, folk music, or scroll painting. The correct answer is option B, folk dance. The Bodo tribe of Assam practices this dance form named Bagurumba. Hence, option B is correct. It is performed during various festivals. Usually performed by women, the dance is accompanied by instruments like drums and flutes. Since Bagurumba is believed to have been inspired from nature, it can be further classified into different dance forms, each inspired from elements of nature like animals, plants, birds, insects, water, air, and so on. Next question is, which of the following is not the principles of Panchsheel? Mutual non-aggression, peaceful coexistence, equality and mutual benefit, or interference to promote national interest? The correct answer is option D, interference to promote national interest. Panchsheel or the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence were first formally enunciated in the Agreement on Trade and Intercourse between the Tibet region of China and India, signed on April 29, 1954. The two governments have resolved to enter into the present agreement based on the following principles: mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, what is the IUCN status of the Himalayan grey langur? Critically endangered, endangered, vulnerable, or near threatened? The correct answer is option B, endangered. Differences in altitude make a primate species in the same Himalayan habitat choose between flowers and fruits as food options beyond their staple menu of leaves, a new study has revealed. The Himalayan grey langur or the Chamba sacred langur, Semnopithecus ajax, is a colobine, meaning leaf-eating monkey. It is considered an endangered species globally as its population is estimated to be less than 1,500 mature individuals in 15 to 20 groups. Hence, option B is correct. It is confined to the Chamba Valley of the Western Himalayas in Himachal Pradesh state in India. Fragmentation, deforestation, persecution and retaliatory killing due to crop raiding and commercial horticulture expansion are threats of serious concern confronting the Himalayan grey langurs. Next question is, with respect to the Majuli Island, consider the following statements. It is the biggest river island in the world. 2. River Indus is associated with it. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. Majuli is a river island in the mighty river Brahmaputra, hence statement 2 is not correct. Mostly inhabited by tribals, the culture of Majuli is unique. It is also called the cultural capital of Assam. The main festival in the town of Majuli is called Ras. It is the biggest river island in the world, hence statement 1 is correct. Therefore, option B is correct. Also, it is home to the Satriya culture, which has been playing a pivotal role in binding together different ethnic groups of the region through the spread of religious ideologies of Neo-Vaishnavism and its cultural traditions since the 15th century. Last question is, in the context of Indian Constitution, which of the following is not borrowed from the Irish Constitution? Directive principles of state policy, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha, method of election of president, or concurrent list? The correct answer is option D, concurrent list. The framers of the Indian Constitution had borrowed the following provisions from the Irish Constitution. Directive principles of state policy, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha, method of election of president, hence option D is correct. The provision of concurrent list was taken from the Australian Constitution. The other provisions which were taken from the Australian Constitution are freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse, and joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament. Now it's time for the practice question. The pre-2030 ambition is associated with which of the following ones? UNFCCC, World Economic Forum, World Bank, or World Health Organization? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.